Toto. I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
Hi guys, hope you're going well. So I'm doing really well today. I actually have a bit of a cold at the moment. Like I don't really get sick often, so when I do get sick, it hits me hard. And I really feel proper sorry for myself. So yeah, feeling a little bit nasally, congested, all that fun stuff. Is it cold in here? Okay, so we are talking about TV today and all the great TV that I have been watching lately. I've already said this before, but I have not really been able to see nearly as many movies as I usually do of a year. Things have been busy, but you know what? That's okay, because there has been amazing, great, fantastic, outstanding television series just like coming at me non-stop. We're gonna go through a couple of things that I have been loving and a few things that I have been meh-ing. Love? Meh. First up, it is Top Boy from Netflix, and this is one of the most recent Netflix shows that I have finished. It actually took me a little bit of a while to get into the groove of this show, and full disclosure, I did have to watch the first half of the season with the subtitles turned on. Yes, even though the show is in English, it's like the characters speak like a London street slang English, and it took me a while to adjust my ear to the dialect. It was hard to understand, okay? This show is all about the rival gangs of East London estates, like the drug pushing, kill or get killed kind of lifestyle. I didn't actually know this, but this is season 3 of the series, and Top Boy has been around season 1 in 2011. I think season 2 came out 2013, and here Top Boy that we see on Netflix is actually an iteration of those first 2 seasons, but it's kind of been repackaged. So I did not even know there was a first 2 seasons. I watched season 3 of Top Boy thinking it was a completely new show, and it did take me a little while to pick up where everything was. I could see now retrospectively that there were a lot of references to like old story threads that you probably would have made more sense if you'd watched the first 2 seasons, but I had just to find time, you know, being in my own little world, thinking that season 3 was the only Top Boy there ever was. So yeah, you can definitely watch Top Boy on Netflix without having seen any of the first seasons. I had no problem doing that. I've really, really enjoyed this show. It was just like a crazy ride, and all filmed in and around like East London, the Hackney Wick area, Homerton, and I love seeing all of that because like I know those areas. It's like always really cool seeing your neighborhoods on film. I live more in North London, but I know those areas pretty well now, and I've recommended it to my mom. She started watching the show. I don't think she's quite getting into it, but I've told her to persist because I think it's really, really good. Now thinking about it, maybe I shouldn't get my mom to watch it because she's already worried enough as it is that I live in London and that I might get stabbed, so Next up, it is the new show from HBO. It is Euphoria. This is starring Zendaya, and I feel like this is one of like the big shows, like big flagship new shows of the year that everyone has been talking about. Zendaya as this like recovering drug addict, high schooler, teenage, like just trying to navigate love and relationships and friendships and drugs and partying and all that like crazy teenage high melodrama angsty fodder that makes for like those really good shows like Skins in the UK. Some people kind of put it in the same thematic sector as and yeah, Euphoria, the way it is shot is absolutely incredible. I think it's one of the most cinematically like beautiful TV shows that I've seen in a really long time, and at least like twice per episode I'm left there watching this sequence unfold thinking, how the hell did they film this? You know, the way that the camera just kind of flies in and out of these like big party house scenes, and the lighting, all this neon lighting, and the costuming, the amazing costumes, and the glitter. Like it is like a manic pixie daydream like every single day. And I would say that it has a little bit of troublesome elements, the way that it kind of does glorify the drug taking in a little bit of a way, like that party drug fueled atmosphere. The way the show spins it is quite appealing, which I would say is kind of a negative that comes part and parcel with just trying to explore drug taking and like teenagehood thematically in general. But overall, Euphoria was a brilliant show. Oh, the final sequence, like the actual very final episode of the show, there's like kind of like a little bit of a music video-esque ending to the show, and I have watched it on repeat, and that song, the song who is it by? Labyrinth, that's it. The song is called All For Us by Labyrinth, and I kid you not, I listen to it every single night. It is incredible, and I don't know why, I'm just like totally obsessed with that song at the moment, and the entire soundtrack is amazing. Hunter Schafer, by the way, I didn't even mention Hunter Schafer plays Jules, and she is also just incredible. So Zendaya and Hunter Schafer together, like their on-screen chemistry is so good. Euphoria, love it, you should see it. A series I watched earlier in the year, which I absolutely adored, was When They See Us. This was directed and co-written by Ava DuVernay, and it's about the Central Park jogger case from 1989. So it's a dramatization of that true crime. And here in this 4-part miniseries for Netflix, it is about the 5 boys that got charged and convicted of this Central Park jogger case of the assault and rape of this woman, and how that all unfolds and goes down. There's a lot of tense racial tense racial threads going on in this story, and the way that it's pieced together, with the first 2 episodes being about the boys when they're younger and the second 2 episodes following the boys as men years and years later. It's just put together with such a craft, so beautiful, and we get to spend a lot of time getting to know each of the boys and seeing each of their personalities and their personal struggles, and how they come in and out of this story with each other and with themselves, with what has happened to them, what they've been accused of. It's a wrongful conviction case. And yeah, the way this miniseries is put together is absolutely brilliant. Highly, highly, highly recommend. There have been a few shows that I've been loving recently. Now let's talk about some shows that I have been meh-ing. And I'm going to start with Carnival Row, because Carnival Row, okay, I have so much like meh to talk about with this show, and how overall I was really disappointed with it. It is starring Orlando Bloom and Cara Delevingne in this like gothic fantasy fairy esque type of political story. These are like my 2 favorite genres combined, and that is like the fantasy genre, and that is also the Victorian, like London genre. So like that Victorian period, anything with between like the early 1800s, more like 1850s to like 1900s, that is like my favorite time period. So to have that with a fantasy genre element, I was like, this is going to be the best show I've ever seen. And then I saw Orlando Bloom and Cara Delevingne being cast in it, and I have to say that is a tough sell for me, because the 2 of them, you know, I would say they have not proved themselves in the past. I mean, well, Orlando Bloom, of course, like he is forever my Legolas, and he did that flawlessly. But can he do anything else? What are his acting chops like? You know, I don't think he's got him. He's very pretty, I'll give him that, but I'm just not convinced. And Cara Delevingne, I think she's still coming up in the world. She's still got a lot of good stuff ahead of her. So far, she hasn't really impressed me. If you don't know what Carnival Row is about, so like I said, it's this like fantasy, like neo-noir, steampunk type genre where these magical fae creatures are treated like refugees. They're kicked out of their home country and they've all come to this city called the Burg. And Orlando Bloom plays this inspector, and he is also trying to figure out this sort of whodunit type of murder mystery where there's this Jack the Ripper type creature attacking fae creatures and like murdering them really gruesomely. So it's kind of like, yeah, a Jack the Ripper type like murder mystery, but then there's a love story on the top because Cara Delevingne is a fae creature, and so they've got this like cross species relationship because Orlando Bloom is a human. In this show, I do appreciate like all the world building. I do appreciate all the really intricate like writing and set design, but it tries to be a little bit Game of Thrones and just doesn't go full throttle like batshit crazy Game of Thrones. It kind of tries to be a little bit political. There's like some sub stories with government officials and like some backstabbing. It doesn't go like hardcore Cersei Lannister. It shies away at the last minute and then just didn't kind of get there for me. So yeah, I'm still living in hope to one day find a show as brilliant as Penny Dreadful, because that was like my ultimate like fantasy Victorian era mashup genre, and Carnival Row just doesn't hold a candle. I'm sorry. Finally, let's end with another kind of meh, which I feel this has been like long gone. People have talked about it to death and I'm not talking about it anymore, but I'll mention it, and that is Stranger Things season 3. Of course, I am all over the Stranger Things nostalgia bandwagon, and I really enjoyed going back to Hawkins for a 3rd season and seeing like all our like friends back together again. But for some reason, the writing of season 3 just was really subpar, and I was really frustrated. When the 2nd season came out, I was there the day that Netflix dropped the entire season. My friends and I marathoned the whole thing immediately, and this time around with the 3rd season, I didn't watch it till at least a few weeks after it had come out. That kind of goes to show my level of interest waning. Like, I did want to see it, but I wasn't like there the day it dropped. I think the main problem for season 3 was probably that it felt like a massive retread of the previous 2 seasons, and it still felt like we were limited to our central characters and limited to staying within the confines of Hawkins and figuring out more about the Upside Down world, even though a lot had kind of already been done. Like, a lot of groundwork had already been laid in the first 2 seasons, and there didn't feel like there was that much further to dig into it. So I just felt like the story felt limited and it wanted to go reaching further and just kind of couldn't. Plus, there was this entire secondary plot involving Steve and Dustin going into the bunker in the Starcourt Mall, and they were just like underground the whole time, and I was so annoyed and frustrated and did not like it. Thank goodness for the character of Lewis's little sister Erica, because she was a lot of fun, and yeah, without her I would have been falling asleep during those scenes. I would watch the 4th season, but a big part of me has kind of had my fun with these characters, and unless we're gonna see them move away from Hawkins and kind of change direction, like take these characters, pick them up and put them out in a different situation, I don't know that I find much more from this. Okay guys, there you have it. They are the shows that I have been all over the past few months and I have been loving watching, and some that I have been like meh about. Carnival Row, I'm looking at you. But yeah, guys, make sure you leave me your TV show recommendations in the comment section down below. I'd love some more recommendations. I'd love to know what I should be watching next. So make sure, leave me some comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget, you can also subscribe to my channel here and keep up to date with all things movies and TV, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.